Hello YouTubers, this is cessnaace, back again with another LaserDisc update video. The first one for October of 2022. We are going to begin with a Ray Harryhausen film. The Three Worlds of Gulliver. This is part of the Ray Harryhausen Signature Collection from Columbia TriStar. Yes, it was pressed by Sony's DADC US plant. However, there are no reported cases of rot. Now, while the page for this release did mention that the analog right track contains the separate music and effects track. It did not, however, mention the extras, which are included on this disc, so I have submitted them. Chapter 52, Ray Harryhausen on the making of the movie. Chapter 54, posters, storyboards, behind-the-scenes photos. And Chapter 54, theatrical trailer. I bought this from one of the largest shops, well, actually is the largest shop at the LaserDisc Database, and there are nearly 200 of them. Laser Blazer, and I paid $7.98 for it. I always tip him $2 when I place an order, because if you tip him $1.50, he will double box everything. And, you know, I figured, what the hey, tip him $2. Okay, I was not familiar with this title until I came across it at the LaserDisc Database. Pressed by Pioneer USA, no reported cases of rot. For Texas. This is a comedy. As you can see, it stars Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Anita Ekberg, Ursula Andress, the first Bond girl, Charles Bronson, Victor Bueno, and the Three Stooges. This film came out in 1963. The same year, I would note, that It's a Mad, 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 Mad World came out, which had a cameo by the Three Stooges. I hope that they have more to do in this film. They get their own chapter. Chapter 4 on side 2. The Three Stooges. There are 7 chapters on each side. This is from Warner Home Video, release 11090. Okay, don't know if I mentioned it, but I paid $6.98 for that one. And I have some things to tell you at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Okay, this I got as part of a different shipment. It is from the Criterion collection. This is number 27, I believe, pressed by Pioneer USA. No reported cases of rot. 12 Angry Men. This is a classic film. I also have this on DVD from the Criterion collection. There are 14 chapters. The interesting thing is the cast on the back is listed by juror number. Foreman is Martin Balsam, juror 2, John Fiedler. Most of these people, by the way, went on to become major, at least supporting actors in the 60s and early 70s. Juror 3, Lee J. Cobb. Juror 4, E.G. Marshall. I believe he was in Creepshow. Juror 5, Jack Klugman. Juror 6, Edward Benz. Juror 7, Jack Warden. He was in a lot of things. Juror 8, Henry Fonda, the key jury member. Juror 9, Joseph Sweeney. Juror 10, Ed Begley. I can't pronounce Juror 10's last name, so I'll just call him George. And Juror 12, Robert Weber. This was directed by Sidney Lumet. Now, interestingly, considering that this is considered by almost everybody to be a classic film, it tanked when it was first released in 1956. Now, my theory on as to why that is because it had just been produced as a live teleplay. Not with this cast, but people might have thought, I know that story, I just saw it on television, so why should I go and pay good money to see it in a theater? But this cast is great. The staging of the scenes are amazing, except for 2 shots. Everything takes place in the jury room. It's expertly blocked by Sidney Lumet. Now, this opened in a cavernous theater in New York City. It had a seating capacity of 4,700. And during the world premiere, they only managed to fill the first 2 rows. So after the first week of release, United Artists yanked it. So it didn't really have a chance to make its budget back. It didn't even make back Henry Fonda's guaranteed salary. Okay. For years, I have had volumes 1 through 4 of this, but I didn't have the rest. I thought I would rectify that situation. This is the Addams Family, Volume 5, from LumaVision. This contains the episodes Mother Lurch Visits the Addams Family, Uncle Fester's Illness, the Addams Family Splurges, and Cousin It, spelled with 2 T's, visits the Addams Family. Now, the strange thing is that it says there are 12 chapters on each side. Chapters 1 through 12 on side 1 and chapters 13 through 24 on side 2. However, it ends with out a chapter 13. There's no chapter 13, as I recall. That's what I'm trying to say. Press by Pioneer USA, no reported cases of fraud. And the funny thing about these Addams Family Laserdiscs is the FBI copyright warning at the beginning. Words to the effect of, if you know what's good for you, don't copy this Laserdisc. We don't know lawyers, we know cement contractors. Okay, Volume 6, which is the Addams Family in Court. Amnesia in the Addams Family. Thing is missing, and Crisis in the Addams Family. This too is missing a chapter, and I don't remember which one. This is release LVD 9262. The other one was LVD 9261. Both original source material, 35mm fine grain, transferred to mastered digitally. They both say the same thing. That's what I'm saying. And I paid $12.98 for each. And then I mistakenly went and ordered the same 2 discs from another seller through the LaserDisc Database. So, senility is creeping up on me. This is supposed to be a classic film. I have never seen it. My wife has a long time ago. This was produced and directed by Otto Preminger. Stars Jimmy Stewart, Ben Gazzara, Arthur O'Connell, Eve Arden, Catherine Grant, and featuring George C. Scott. Nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture 1959. Columbia Pictures presents Anatomy of a Murder. 2 discs, not in a gatefold jacket. Music by Duke Ellington. I didn't notice that before. Okay, a Hong Kong release, letterboxed. Butterfly and Sword. From Chang Hong Channel Film and Video Limited, 1993. Chinese with English and Chinese subtitles. It says bilingual, so I'm trying to remember, but I'm thinking it has Mandarin and Cantonese tracks. Pressed by Pioneer USA. No reported cases of rot. Category 2 film. If it was Category 2B, it would be semi-naughty, and if it was Category 3, it would be naughty. Okay. I love this film. I have it on DVD. I first saw it decades ago on HBO. Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. Defending your life. When you die, you go to Judgment City, and you have to defend your life. If you do so successfully, you get to progress. If you don't, you have to go back to Earth. Now, I won't give away the joke as to who plays the person who is manning the Past Lives Pavilion, or womaning. This is Warner home video release 12049. Pressed by Pioneer USA. No reported cases of rot. Everybody here has heard of Russ Meyer, right? A lot of his films were released on LaserDisc. This is a double feature. Finders, Keepers, Lovers, Weepers, and Good Morning and Goodbye. Two discs, 3 sides. First film runs 71 minutes. The second one runs 78 minutes. The second one starts with chapter 16 on side 2 and goes all the way through chapter 26. Should have said goes through chapter 26. And then side 3 has the rest of that second film, and then side 4 has nothing. Those are the other Russ Meyer's releases from this company. Pressed by Curare. No reported cases of rot. Okay, this film, most of the information was missing at the LaserDisc Database for it. You had the catalog number and the publisher, and I think that was it. But I submitted everything else. This is not a PORNO film. It's an adult film, though. Girls of the Crazy Horse 2, Volume 2. From Image Entertainment. The Crazy Horse 2, TOO, that was a real strip club in Las Vegas before it was shut down in the early 2000s for illegal activity of some kind. Image Entertainment release ID 7636IC. And like all Image Entertainment releases from this era, there's no chapter listing, just significant sequences of the motion picture of this motion picture have been chapter encoded for your viewing enjoyment. However, unlike Pioneer, which was the other major distributor, Pioneer charged extra to encode a disc with a digital soundtrack. Image didn't. You got analog with CX noise reduction, and you got digital if you were a publisher or whatever, free of charge. Okay. This is a documentary, the greatest of all American musicals, Time magazine. Well, some might dispute that. Some might say that would be Singing in the Rain. But this is on the making of Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls off the record. It's shiny because it still has the shrink wrap on it, although it's not sealed. Pressed by Technodisc. No reported cases of rot. Always hold my breath when it's one of the problematic pressing plants like PDO UK, Technodisc, DADC USA. I don't have enough discs by that were pressed by I think it was DMI Disctronics in the US. They did a lot of discs, but I only have 2 of them. They look pristine, the ones that I have. Another behind-the-scenes documentary. Pressed by Pioneer USA. 1 reported case of rot. Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's apocalypse. Now I know there are some box sets, or at least one box set, of Apocalypse Now that includes this documentary free of charge or as an extra or whatever. But it was also released separately. The best film of 1991. Gene Siskel, and Ebert. The magic and the madness of making Apocalypse Now. This is from Paramount Home Video. And the release is LV83081. Okay, another Hong Kong action film from John Woo. Heroes Shed No Tears. Letterboxd edition from Tai Seng Video Marketing. Pressed in Japan by Mitsubishi. No reported cases of rot. There are 28 chapters. Two sides. 28 chapters. Chapters 21 through 28 are all bonus things. Chapter 21, well, these are all trailers for John Woo films that were available from Tai Seng on LaserDisc. Chapter 21, Hand of Death, aka Countdown in Kung Fu. Chapter 22, Last Hurrah for Chivalry. I have that one. Chapter 23, Bullet in the Head. I have that one. Chapter 24, Once a Thief. Chapter 25, Hard Boiled. Chapter 26, Hong Kong trailer for Heroes Shed No Tears. 27, U.S. trailer for Heroes Shed No Tears. Chapter 28, trailer for Wheels on Meals. Warning, not rated, contains scenes of nudity and intense violence. Absolutely not for viewers under 18 years of age. Viewer discretion is advised. Chinese with English subtitles. This is Tai Seng Video Marketing Release 56336. Okay. This one, oh dear. This is a Hong Kong release, LaserDisc, of a Hong Kong film that was imported by Tai Seng Video Marketing into the U.S. So it has a Tai Seng Video Marketing OB strip. But this isn't the release they did of it. This is one they imported. They did also release this, if I remember correctly. This was printed in Taiwan, or pressed in Taiwan, by Princo. Side 1 is heavily rotted. You can't see it visually, but trust me, it is. Visually, I mean by eyeballing the disc. Side 2 is clear as a bell. Now, I cleaned this disc repeatedly and didn't get any better. This is Universe Laser and Video Company Limited, release ULV 3216, bilingual. Cantonese and Mandarin with English subtitles. Now, the shop I bought it from, he told me, when I told him about it, he was shocked that that disc had rot, because well, I don't know why, but he told me he was shocked. So he gave me my money back on it. It was Laser Blazer, if I remember correctly. Another Hong Kong film, but this is a U.S. release. Might be mainland China, because it's in Mandarin. In Mandarin with English subtitles. Released by Orion Home Video. Distributed by Image Entertainment. Pressed by Technodisc. No reported cases of rot. This is release ID 2217OR, the OR for Orion. Breathtakingly beautiful, Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times. Okay. This one was pressed by DADC USA. One reported case of rot. This is Shanghai Triad. Deluxe widescreen presentation. This has 39 chapters. Let's see. Best Foreign Film, National Board of Review. Best Cinematography, LA Film Critics Circle. Best Cinematography, New York Film Circle. Best Cinematography, Cannes Film Festival. Magnificent, says the New York Times. Sumptuous, says David Anson. Surprised this didn't get a pull quote from Siskel and Ebert. Aspect ratio 1.85 to 1. Sony Pictures Classics. Sony Pictures Classics. I'm trying to get through all of these because I have 5 more packages coming. And not counting a box of games from Atari Age. Okay, pressed by Sony's DADC USA plant. No reported cases of rot. Not sure how that's pronounced. The story of Guichu? This is in Mandarin with yellow English subtitles. Sony Pictures Classics. Columbia TriStar Home Video. Release 71556. One of these days I'm going to show my collection of CinemaDisc releases. Image Entertainment had a line called CinemaDisc, which was their line for foreign films. Mostly European, although some Russian. Okay, this was pressed by Warner Brothers U.S. plant, WEA Manufacturing, or WEA USA. They also had a plant in Germany. This is Switch. Ellen Barkin, Blake Edwards' Switch. Timmy Smits, Joe Beth Williams, Lorraine Bracco. She's not someone I've seen in a while. Music score by Henry Mancini. HBO Video, Warner Brothers Home Video, made in USA by WEA Manufacturing. This is release 90550. There are 13 chapters on side 1 and 14 chapters on side 2. I think I might have picked box that's deep enough to hold all these. Okay, this is another one that I got from Laser Blazer today. It cost me $14.98. This is a classic science fiction film. Them. This is the film that started the whole giant bug subgenre of science fiction in the 50s. Added Attraction original theatrical trailer, which is chapter 12 of side 2. It also has something that some other releases that I have of this film in other formats don't have, which is the original opening credits. The title Them was in color. This preserves that. Pressed by WEA USA. Comes in a Warner Home Video inner sleeve. Okay, I'm sure that white is going to throw off my camera. Now, MGM also eventually started using their own inner sleeves. Well, I should say they started using their own inner sleeves with their releases that would list other MGM titles. The first time I saw this film, I was hooked by the opening credits sequence and the wrecked trailer. A very intelligently written film, by the way. Them. Okay, this is another, another Hong Kong release imported by Tisseghem Video Marketing. So it has one of their Obi strips. Touch of Evil. But this is actually the Hong Kong release from Ocean Shores Video Limited. Made in Japan. By Kuroe. No reported cases of rot. Like I said, don't go anywhere because at the end I have something I want to say. Okay, this is an interesting one because I ordered it and I only got half the movie. This is one of those Hong Kong releases that came in 2 jackets. So part 1 is in one jacket and part 2 is in the other. This is Treasure Hunt. They both have the same obverse and reverse artwork, front and back. So it was an easy mistake to make. In fact, every listing I've ever seen of this on eBay, they only show one disc. Now, while this is a Hong Kong release, it was imported into the US by, yes, you guessed it, Tisseghem Video Marketing. If I didn't say, pressed by Pioneer USA. This does not, however, have a Tai-Seng video marketing OB. Oh no. It has a Tai-Seng video marketing strip, which they did not want you to miss. But it has the same info on it that one of their typical OB strips had. The synopsis in English with the title, the cast, the director, the running time, the year, the category, action, letterbox, Cantonese, and Mandarin with English subtitles. I don't know why I've been fighting this cold for so long. Okay. This is a tale and a half. I already have this LaserDisc. Really, well, I have a copy of this release. When I ordered it from a seller whose shop is in Canada at the LaserDisc Database, he contacted me and said he couldn't find it. When he eventually did find it, he couldn't find another one of the titles that I had ordered at the same time. So I have this one. Weird Cartoons. This is actually Weird Cartoons 1 and 2, or Volumes 1 and 2, because it was released on LaserDisc. The LaserDisc, obviously, it was obviously released on LaserDisc. It was released on VHS first. And Volume 1 was the first VHS tape they released, and then Side 2 has Volume 2, which was the second one. Warning, some of these cartoons may seem offensive by today's standards, but what the hell, this is America. It says that. Volume 1, a delicious collection of vintage cartoons, animation, and puppetry ranging from the early 1900s through the 1940s, including Scrub Me Mama with a Boogie Beat, a very racist cartoon. Hasher's Delirium, Hersher's. Non-Stop Freight, Inky and the Minor Bird, The Devil's Ball, Little Black Sambo, Betty Boop's Most Bizarre Adventures, and many more. It also starts with a Disney cartoon, one of Disney's Alice cartoons, which combined live action with animation. It was kind of a take on the Fleischer Studios series Out of the Inkwell, where they would take an animated character or animated characters and put them in the real world. What the Alice cartoons did was flip that. They put a live action girl, Alice, in an animated world. Each side starts with an Alice cartoon. Volume 2, if you loved Volume 1, you will absolutely salivate over the second collection of classic cartoons. Obviously, they took the text from the VHS releases. Classic cartoons, puppetry, and animation for the past 50 years, including the best of Betty Boop, Felix, the rare genius of Max Fleischer, World War II propaganda cartoons, plus an incredible retrospective intermission and spook show cartoon animation. 118 minutes total running time. My favorite one, which is not listed here, I don't remember the name of it, but it's stop motion animation. I posted it on Facebook. It's stop motion animation. It has this metal bird that eats a car part by part by part. It then lays an egg. The egg hatches, and then the car assembles itself. And then the owner of the bird gets this idea, hey, he'll manufacture cars 1 million a year. And the bird starts laughing and says, joke's on him. He can only lay one egg every 100 years, whatever it is. Weird cartoons. The picture quality on these varies wildly. I'll just say that. And the racist cartoon, Scrub Me Mama with a Boogie Beat, was a Walter Lantz cartoon. Now, I know I showed this one before, but this isn't the same copy. This one still has its shrink wrap on, but it's not sealed. Pressed by 3M. 3 reported cases of rot without a clue. Sherlock Holmes film. As I pointed out in the forums at the LaserDisc Database, the rot count for various titles might be off because you can't, the same user can't report the same release more than once. So even if you have 5 copies, you can only report it as having rot once. And this has rot too. In fact, it's slightly worse than the other one that I have, which is watchable. I contacted the seller and he said he checked all of his copies. They all had the same amount of rot, more or less. So methinks if more people who have this actually reported their defective copies or their rotted copies, it would have a much higher count. Okay, next to last one for this time around. Pressed by Pioneer, USA. No reported cases of rot. The Woman in Green. Sherlock Holmes film with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. Landmark Laservision, which was an imprint of, I think, Republic Pictures Home Video. This is release LV27950. I have other Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce, Sherlock Holmes films on LaserDisc, some from Landmark. I have some other releases from Landmark, or Republic Pictures, whatever. And so there you go. Now for a film. The last one in this batch, I think. Yeah, it is. I also have this film on DVD and Blu-ray. Zulu. Part of the Criterion collection. This is release 54 in the collection. The film is from 1964. There are 28 chapters on 2 discs. British. Well, it says England, but same thing. CLV, CX noise reduction encoded. 138 minutes. Shot in video scope. Okay. Zulu. Now, there's 2 things I wanted to mention. One, as I mentioned in a previous video, the LaserDisc player, the industrial LaserDisc player that I have in the bedroom no longer reads discs. It doesn't spin them. It's a Pioneer LDV8000, which is a shame because even though it's a single-sided player, it has the largest frame buffer of any LaserDisc player, so it can do perfect noise-free still frames on any CLV disc. I'm not just talking CAV, CLV. And it also has the fastest frame seek time of any LaserDisc player. You can go from the first frame of one side to the last frame of that side in half a second. In fact, faster than I can go. So, I tested the LaserDisc player that's hooked up in the living room, which is a Pioneer CLD D503. Works perfectly. The only problem is I can't ever get to that player because our daughters tend to monopolize that TV set. Now we also have a Pioneer CLD D504 and a Pioneer CLD D505. However, I did not move any of those players to the bedroom. Instead, I took one out of the garage that was in storage, an RCA LDR 600. I moved it into the bedroom. I plugged it in. I turned it around so that it was facing the back. Plugged it in. Turned it back around. Well, and then I unscrewed the transit screw. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Turned it back around, had the TV on. Hit open tray. The tray opened. I stuck a LaserDisc in it. Hit play. It closed the tray. The disc spun. The disc came up. The video came up. The audio came up. Everything was hunky-dory. Except I couldn't find the remote. So then I had to go to eBay. And I did a search for a replacement remote for the RCA LDR 600. This is also compatible with the LDR 500. Now the actual remote for the LDR 600 has a jog shuttle wheel on the bottom. This one however, does not. Pull that down, and that is where all of the function keys are for the LaserDisc player, including some that are on the player itself, like switching to 16:9 mode and all that stuff. However, that is not all I was going to say. I am going to stick in the description box a link to a video done about 13 years ago by Watcher 223. I think his channel name is 2323, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to stick it down there. He did a video called Fixing cessnaace's LaserDisc Players. When that LD V8000 died the first time, which was about 13 years ago, he contacted me and he offered to fix it. He fixed it, and because I had done a video on it, the same day that died, my Pioneer CLD D504, which was at the time in the living room, started throwing error messages and didn't work. It also wouldn't flip sides. So he fixed that, and he is the one I bought the RCA LDR 600 from. So I've been in touch with him. He's offered to fix this LDV8000. So as soon as we can get together and so forth, I'm going to have him do it, because I'm not going to risk eye injury opening that thing up and having an exposed laser shooting up at me. So there's that. So 5 more packages of LaserDisc coming, and a package from Atari Age of games. They recently released 17 new homebrews for the Atari 2600, the Atari 5200, the Atari 7800, the Atari Jaguar, and I believe for the 8-bit line of Atari computers. So I ordered some. When they come in, I will show them. So until next time, stay awesome.